Okay, so this morning we got a really, really nice horse, and a good friend of mine, Mary Gesser. Make sure you get her because she's going to be famous. So she's a big follower of the Clinton Anderson, the method, and all that, which is I'm really big into. And so she's having a few. This horse was trained by a Clinton ambassador, so really well trained. She just has some little things that she's wondering about and having some struggles with. So we're going to do a little video on the lateral flexion and see if we can get Mary to where it feels good for her. So I'm just going to kind of show you. We know she's going to know this because she's been trained by one of the best. So anyway, so a lot of the problems people have is they'll stand up towards their shoulder. And then when you start asking for this, there's no room for them to give. So always stand back here. I always, just as a general rule, just say, put your hand kind of right on the hip, right between the flanks and the hip right here. That gives her room that she can move. And then I would, again, these are kind of general rules, but if you kind of reach down about halfway down her neck, don't come up high like this. That binds them up. So if you just come kind of right up, picture yourself in the seat with your reins. You want it to be pretty much the same feel for her. Okay. So if you reach down about the midsection of her neck right there, and then just come up to her withers right here. There. You see her give right there? So the hardest thing for people to feel is when to give. And we've heard every trainer in the world at this point, natural horse, it's the give that teaches them. So you have to know when to give that. So right here, I'll pull up. You tell me when to give.
Oh, no, I said too soon.
That's okay. She's really soft, so it comes really fast. And so you can actually wait and have her really give you a good give. In the beginning, I'm only going to ask for this much and then release her. Okay. But where she's been trained, she knows right there's the give. So if you watch, every time she comes and gives right there, I'll release her.
When she tucks her chin.
See that?
Yep.
Now she didn't give that time. There, she did. Okay, so this is you want to wait for that slack in the rein. But the secret is, like if I keep her right here and just keep her here and she keeps giving and I keep holding, she's going to go, where's my release?
What am I doing?
I'm not getting anything out of this. So right here, you just go here. There's the release. Okay, and you just drop that. There. Super. Now, what? I don't know if you can see this this is a thumb and finger. Okay, so literally maybe a pound and a half of pressure on her. Okay, so it's not an aggressive thing. It's just a nice, easy give. Okay, now what this does for him, especially if you get a horse that's reactive or whatever, this is a very relaxing thing for him. So as long as you give at the right time, they'll stand here all day and you watch her head, it just goes lower and lower every time.
Now what about when she keeps her head? Sometimes when you do that, she keeps her head turned that way. Is that
beautiful? Let her do it. As long as you get the give, that's a great problem to have. Okay. Because most horses in the beginning, when you start doing this lateral flexion, they'll go here and then they'll pull their head away. See like that right there? It's better if they do keep it there. See how she just kind of just went like this? That's okay. If they snap it back, that just means they're not really getting that where you want it yet. Okay. So I'm going to let you step in here and I'm not going to tell you when to release. I'm going to see if you feel it, okay, and then I'll help you if we need to. So you go right up to her wither. Okay. So that time I would say you were right between.
Not quite right.
So just wait, and like I said, she's had enough training that you can actually, if you're not sure, wait a minute and make sure you get that really nice give. See how she's holding her head around there for you? That's a good thing. Yeah. Okay, so up to the withers. That's good. See how she's holding it there? Okay, there's nothing wrong with that at all, because that means that she's nice and flexible and soft. She's not pulling her head around and bracy with you.
And she's watching, so she's paying attention to me at this point.
So right now, the last time you kind of came back to here, sometimes that really kind of pulls. So just come right, pretend you're in the seat and the horn's right here.
Okay,
you want to try to keep it right in that same area. Okay, so just go right up to her withers. There. You released perfect that time. Okay. And you can't do this too many times. You can do it 100 times a day. It's not going to, no. There. Now that time you didn't have to wait for a release. She just came around and went and just drop her. Okay, that's exactly how you want it to look right there. So go up, there, and release her. Okay, so the secret is the release. So we got Mary on the other side of this mare now, and we're gonna get her flexing on the other side now. There. Now, see, that time it was okay that you waited, but she gave to you once and then gave to you a second time. So now tell me one thing, just so I can point it out on here. See where you're at? Okay, so, and you were okay. It wasn't too bad, but what happens is when you get up into here, then she starts going, oh, and trying to cramp in there. And it's not as natural of a move for her. So just up to her withers. There. Okay, so you were a tiny bit slow that time. As soon as you feel her do this, just drop it. There, perfect. I'm a sensitive freak. You know, I like to give the second they give to that. There, let her go. Okay, now look where she's keeping her head. So the better she gets at this and the softer she gets, the less snap she has in her neck. And you'll find that there, perfect. You'll find that her top line, her, you know, she'll be even with her withers or even below because it just gets more relaxing for them. She's got a nice soft look in her eye. There. Now you're starting to feel it. Yep. Okay, so try it one more time. Then let's do it with your eyes closed once and see if you can. Emery and I will let you know whether you did it right. There, perfect. Okay, so now close your eyes and just see if you can feel that. Okay. Perfect. Yep. So when you feel that, you just drop that rein. Don't even hold on to it. Just drop it. Yeah. Good. Now there, see, she's holding it there for you. And then, you know, when they get really good at it, you can start doing this. And again, this translates to the seat. When we put you on today, we're going to do 50 of these before you ever even ride. Okay, so then you can start doing this. You can start saying, okay, give, give, give. Okay, so then it becomes just this automatic thing, repetition thing, and it keeps them super light. You want to make sure you give. There, now go ahead and bring her back in again, just nice and light. There, way better. See, the second one you were kind of jerky with her. There. Now look where her head's going. Look how low that is. Perfect. Okay, now just rub her.
She's done a lot of these?
Yes, I can guarantee you she's done a lot of these. So let me explain to you why this is so important. One rein stop. You've heard of that.
Yep.
This is the beginning of the one rein stop. Okay, you've got to have her soft laterally before she's ever going to do that and stop for you. Okay. All we're going to do is build on that now and say you're in the seat and you want to stop. Instead of do this,
you're going to do this.
We're going to do this and say whoa and sit down in the seat. Then when she gets really good at that, we quit this and then you can just sit and she'll stop. So it's a stepping stone building block, every single one of it. So that's why you were having a little problem with the sending exercise, because the steps before weren't good.
I haven't got them good yet.
So the flexing with her is really good. Okay. So we're going to saddle her up now, and then we'll do a little video showing you how to do it from the seat. Okay. Okay. Back up to her hip. There you go.
Now, do I want to bring this back across here?
No, just leave that outside loose and just bring her in right up to the horn right there. There. Okay, so now just remember her withers are right here. Okay. And your hands are going to be, we're going to keep your hands below the horn.
Okay, on this side.
So just come up right to here when you flex her. So what's happening right here is if she was nervous of a stirrup or nervous of something here, this flexing her lets her see all this before we ever get on her. So it's more than just about the flexing. So
also teaching her that it's comfortable.
All right, so now we've got Mary saddled with her mare, and we're going to do a little bit of the lateral flexion with the saddle on, just so that we can make sure that she's good with everything. So we're looking for the same responses. And you can see right now she's looking at that truck and not really flexing, so you're holding her there, and that's good. There, good. So you felt that give in her and let her go. That's exactly what you need to feel. You'd be surprised at how many people can't feel that, and you have to really teach it. You're actually feeling it. So, yep, so go ahead and bring her back in. Okay, good. Now, she's far enough along that if she were to just kind of stall on you, just bump her a little bit if you need to. But give her the chance to do it without. And if she gets lazy on you, just bump her a little. There, good. That was way better. She went clear back to her shoulder. Okay. Now, for the video's sake, if you have a horse that you flex and they start to walk, you don't want to let that go. You've got to keep that head flexed, follow with them till they stop moving their feet and give you their head. If you release them when they walk, they're going to think that's what you wanted. Okay. So with her, we already know she knows it. So we're not going to see that. But if she did walk, you just keep that head flexed until she stops. There. Good. That was perfect. Okay. So let's walk around on the other side and do it. All right. So now we've got Mary in the seat and we're going to do the lateral, one-rein lateral flexion from the seat. And if you notice, it's exactly the same motion as when we were on the ground. So she already knows this. It's just a difference of where you're sitting. Now, one thing I always tell people, try to, when you flex or see how high your hand is right here, what I always tell people is to reach down about midway of her neck and go right up the seam of your jeans and stop right here at your hip. At your hip.
I've seen that in the videos.
Yep. And that keeps you from getting your hands, because if you get too high, she's going to start right there. Okay. Now practice keeping your legs just relax down to the side of you. See how you're kind of out here? Just kind of let them relax below you, and that'll allow her to come around for that flex. There, good.
Still need to get my hand down by my hip.
There, good. Perfect. Okay, so now go ahead and try the other side. So can you see how this kind of stuff, if you're on a young horse and they're not totally, bomb proof and all that, all this kind of stuff takes them back to all the groundwork we just did. It prepares them to be ridden. Okay. If you just climb on a young horse that you haven't ridden in 3 weeks that's still green, you're just asking for something for them to react. This gets the reaction out of them. Okay. Good. Perfect.
I got to keep practicing to get back.
Yep. And just so if you can get that on video too, right there, Emery. When you guys are flexing these horses, everybody has a tendency to get up here like this and get clear up above your sternum and all that. If you always reach down midway of their neck, now this is going to change a little bit because some horses are longer necked and whatever. Right. So you just kind of have to get a feel for it. But you want to be able to just pull to start at your knee, go right up the seam of your jeans to right there. And if you'll notice, that allows that horse to have a natural move with her neck around. If you start pulling from here, it binds her up. See how her mouth gapes and all that? So coming to here gives you that kind of that in between. You're not too far out where you're pulling them clear out, but it gives them that chance to just bring their head around. So just practice. If your thumb goes right up that seam, just like that, that's perfect. If you let your thumb feel that seam in your jeans there, feel how natural that feels, and it's easy for her. Good.
Back in front again.
That's okay. And just try to always stay, don't ever cross your hand across the horn, because then you're really binding them into that. Good. And always remember when you're doing these to not pick up on the outside rein. Leave that rein just totally loose. A lot of people, what they'll do is they'll raise their hand and do this, and then you start pulling both sides.
So am I supposed to do this here before I slide down, or no?
I wouldn't. It's okay, but
right here,
but what happens is, do that again. So what happens? See what happens to the slobber straps when you do that?
Putting pressure.
So what you're going to get once you get a horse backing up good and stuff, she's going to start backing up. So if you can just kind of keep it there and reach down, bring it over. Then you're not going to create movement in her by getting your hand up too high. Now, there are a lot of the trainers will say, come up like this, and there's a place for that, but this isn't it.
This isn't it.
So we're just getting that. Okay. So anyway, so that's the 3 stages of the one-rein flex, the lateral flexion that I would do. Okay. Get them good at it on the ground. Put a saddle on. When you put your bridle on, do a few with them, and get in the seat and do the same thing. Okay. So all we're doing is taking that relaxation we taught them down here and just
adding it with the
saddle and you on her. Okay. Okay. So that's the one-rein flex. Okay. And like I said, don't be afraid to do that anytime you want. Okay. You're never ever going to do it too much.
Like when I'm out on the trail and she's looking at something, I can
absolutely
start doing that just to get her refocused on something different, and that will save me a wreck.
If she walks, like if you're out with your buddies riding and you stop and she keeps trying to walk away, everybody pulls on 2 reins, and then their horse's head comes in the air and they start gaping their mouth open because they don't want to stand. All you have to do is pull that around and keep her there until she quits moving her feet and drops her head and release her.
Then she's more relaxed.
Because then it's a lateral correction instead of pulling on
Instead
them.
of putting pressure on the mouth
Yeah.
for no reason.
Because then all you're going to do is bring their head in the air. We want them to just move
Yep.
naturally.
Okay.
Okay. So what I'm going to do right here is I'm just going to ask you to get her to go forward, but I'm going to kind of be here to control her if she needs it. Okay. So now, one thing to show you right there. Tell me the first thing you did when you asked her to go forward.
I clicked.
You pulled back on her.
I pulled back
You
on
gathered
this.
up a bunch of
I didn't
rein.
see it.
Now, I will tell you 11 out of 10 people do that.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Gathered the
So-
reins up to stop her.
So yeah, so what you're doing is you're saying go forward, but don't. Okay. So, and this is a comfort thing. This is why the more you do this, the more comfortable you get, the less you're gonna. This is not control. Just remember, people use this for control. It is
Just
not.
throw her head up.
Yes. So when you ask her to go forward, the last thing you want to do is pick the reins up. Okay. So just sit there, and if you need to rest your hands on the horn to kind of remind you, or wherever's comfortable,
Okay.
you want her to go forward. So just squeeze with your legs and shift your body forward a little bit. Okay. Now you're not giving her mixed signals right there because you didn't ask her to stop and go at the same time. Okay. So we're just going to let her travel around.
Let her go where she wants.
No, I'll kind of,
Okay, you'll guide me.
but you just get to where you feel comfortable on her. And then what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to do an inside turn towards me. That way. And so right there, if you feel her look out, go ahead and just use that inside rein.
Okay.
You always want her to follow her nose. So if she's looking outside, just reach down and pop her head in, just like you did lunging her. There, good. She has a tendency to always want to look outside. Good. Okay, now I'm going to ask you to just make a little tight circle to the inside, and I'm just going to be here, but I'm going to let you do it. Good. See how light that was? Okay, now go ahead and ask for one this way. Now, another thing that we all do, and we all learned it the old-fashioned way, is all of us look at our horse's head when we're riding.
Instead of where we're going.
Look out in front of you and look where you want to go. So if we're asking for a turn to this side, to the right side, look this way, use your inside rein to guide her nose and just lay that rein on her neck. We don't want to worry about the neck rein yet until we get her nice, but you just guide her nose and have her follow. Here, I'm going to do this. Okay, so I'm going to tie this up because I think at a walk, especially, she's going to be fine. Okay, so just let those, if she's standing, remember to leave those really loose. And you're going to be surprised. You think she's lazy? She's not going to be that lazy. Okay. Okay, so let's not worry about even getting out of let's get her nice and comfortable and soft at a circle. And then when you feel good, you can let her out a little bit and let her walk out. But what I want you to practice is, instead of when you want her to stop, now see how you grabbed rein right there? I'm going to be a freak about that. So yeah, see how you loop the reins up? Okay, so don't think of this as me nagging at you. I just want to show you. So when you ask her to go forward, so here's the I want you to get to where this isn't your security. What your security is to reach down and do this. It's a lateral thing. See, we all learned the wrong way, and so to switch over is hard to do. So just ask her to walk forward. Just go 8 or 10 steps. Okay, and then reach down and do a one-rein stop with her. And I'm going to walk you through the steps of that. So you're walking forward, so just reach down with one hand either side. Sit back, do a one-rein flex and say, whoa. Wait for her to give her head. Now release her. Okay, that's the sequence you're going to use from now on with her. Now, what's going to happen is the one-rein step is that safety thing. If you take that front end power away from them, they can't bolt. I won't say can't. They can all, everybody says if you pull their head around, they can't buck. I've seen horses buck. They can go sideways and all that. But here's why the foundation is so important. If you can pull their head around here, they've learned that this is very relaxing and very easy for them. So this automatically puts them back on the thinking side of their brain. Okay, so that's a big reason that we teach them this stuff. It's not all about just the control and the flexion. This is the release. This is where they started to learn that release means they're doing the right thing. So if they get a little nervous and you pull them in and stop them and they relax, you let go and then you start over again. Okay, So just remember that the only time, see your first reaction is to reach down like this, okay? So all I'm gonna do is remind you to where you can condition not to do that, okay? So now, just keep one hand on the rein, that'll help you. And just squeeze to her and lean forward in your seat. See how you didn't need to grab rein to get that? Now, so just walk along, and you don't have to go very far. Practice both sides, reach down with one hand, pull back, sit back in your seat and say, whoa. Wait for her to stop, give her head, and let her go. There's your one rein stop, okay? So, now, there you go. Now, if she walks away and you didn't ask, you did exactly the right thing. And okay, so do the same thing. Keep your hands low. And remember, it doesn't have to be a fast reaction. It's just reach down, pull up. Okay, now see, right there, if you would have continued to do this to stop her, she would keep springing forward. It took you twice, and she goes, oh, I get this. I can just stop and relax. So you see the building block of all this, how it translates all the way through this. Okay, so go ahead and just lean forward again, squeeze. Don't even steer. See there. See you sucked up rein? Yep,
I want to pull it automatically out.
Yep. And what this is going to do is this is going to keep her head down, sit back, say, whoa, there. Did you feel her stop for you? Mary here on her horse. She's only ridden once since she got her back. Had no idea she was going to be out here trotting on her today. See how she's looking for other places now? It's all right. Just let her travel. So we have now got her doing a passenger lesson. And if you'll notice, if you can see on the video, she is not steering this horse. She is not grabbing the rein. She's not doing anything with this horse's mouth. She's just traveling, letting the horse be a horse. See how she's looking for other places? It's awesome. But she's not breaking her gait, and that's what you want. So Mary didn't think she was going to be traveling on this horse today. Now she's out here being a professional. So now, Mary, when she comes back out in the middle or something, let's show these guys the one rein stop. So we're just traveling along. Now she's going to reach down and do a one rein stop and ask her to whoa.
Whoa.
Give her head and stop. Now when we started trotting this mare, every time she stopped, she wanted to spring out of it and start moving forward. And now you'll notice Mary's done the right thing by not letting her leave until she asks her to leave. And she's doing these lateral flexion, and you'll watch this horse will stand here for hours now and wait for Mary to ask her what to do. Okay, whenever you're ready, you just ask for her to go again. There's no reins, no steering, no anything. This mare's just traveling where it's natural for her. This is the hardest thing for people to learn because they think that they have all the control in the reins and in their mouth. And in reality, you have less control there and more problems when you start yanking on them. So if we can get her to travel like this, not go to a walk, not go to a canter, but just rake for us at the speed that we want her to go, pretty soon they get so relaxed that they'll just do anything for you. And there's your one rein stop. So this is her first time doing on this mare, and she's doing really, really good. We're going to do a lot of lessons with Mary, so we're going to kind of keep some videos coming to show you the progress that these guys make. But that's really nice. Okay, we're going to do a little canter. She hasn't cantered on this horse before. Good. You see how you have total control of that now? If she's cantering and it feels not quite right, just shut her down and start over. Yeah. Now, if you were to squeeze and grab and start yanking on her, that might make it way worse. Okay, so go ahead and try it again. Just go 8 or 10 steps and then shut her down again. No reins, just let her do it. There, now relax. Beautiful, Mary.
I messed up the stop.
It's all right. You're adding more elements to it, so you're not going to get it perfect the first couple times. Hands low. You see how when you start going faster, your hands started coming higher too. So this is all repetition and just making sure that you keep those cues exactly the same. Now look how easy the trot gets after you've cantered her. Now you're not going to have to do much. Just squeeze a little. There. Now just sit there. Good.
Uh-oh.
Okay, now Mary's cantering her horse. Did it feel good? No. It's a little, you know, she was kind of
Bumpy right
little
now.
bumpy, but the longer that you let her travel, the more she's going to smooth out.